Good morning. Happy Good Friday to you. I hope that you are having a wonderful Holy Week. Today is the beginning of Easter weekend, of a resurrection weekend. Don't forget, tonight we have our Good Friday service at 6 o'clock here at the church in the sanctuary. So please make sure that you are here with us. Please make sure that you come expecting God to touch you. As we focus on the cross, as we focus on what he did for us, what he accomplished for us. But today is Good Friday. Again, we went through Palm Sunday, Holy Monday, Holy Tuesday, Spy Wednesday, Maundy Thursday. That was yesterday. So I hope all of you participated in a private communion, that you took communion, just you and the Lord, or you and your family, and you had that special moment of remembrance with him, that you were able to take that time and remember exactly what he did. Then today is Good Friday. Now, I'm not going to get into everything that today is all about. I'm not going to get into we'll get into that tonight at church. But there is one thing that I do want to touch on this Good Friday devotional. In Mark chapter 15, verse number 21 says this: "Then they led him out to crucify him being Jesus. They forced a man coming in from the country who was passing by to carry Jesus' cross. He was Simon of Cyrene, the father of Alexander and Rufus." So we see here Jesus being beaten by the cat of nine tails, having the crown of thorns upon his head. He is forced to carry his own cross to Golgotha. Now, that is something that they did sometimes. The Romans didn't always make the men that they were executing carry their cross, but in this case they did with Jesus. He stumbles and shows that he is struggling. He's struggling physically. He's lost a lot of blood at this point. So they appoint Simon of Cyrene, somebody traveling through, to carry the cross of Jesus. Luke chapter number 9, verses 23 and 24. These are the words of Jesus well before his crucifixion. These are his words. He said this: "Then he said to him," again, he being Jesus, "If anyone wants to become my follower, he must deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me. For whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will save it." Now, as human beings, we try to avoid pain at all cost. We try to avoid any time that we could potentially be uncomfortable. We try to avoid pain. We try to, whether it's physical pain, mental pain, emotional pain, we try to avoid that at all costs. We were designed to value life and preserve ourselves. On the other hand, if we hold ourselves too tightly, we keep ourselves from following God with our whole hearts. If we try to avoid pain at all costs, then sometimes we stop ourselves from following God wholeheartedly because we are too nervous that we're going to get hurt, or something's not going to go the way we want to, and there will be, again, hurt that comes out of that. God often asks us to get out of our comfort spots and set ourselves aside for his glory. He wants us to trust him, but we can only do that when we let go and obey. More than likely, Simon had other things to do that day, rather than get personally involved in this scandalous crucifixion. His own plans and agenda were interrupted when he was given an order to carry the cross of Christ. It was hard work, it was bloody, it was humiliating, but he carried the cross for Christ and walked with him during his most difficult hour. In doing so, Simon becomes a part of the greatest story ever told. This is a powerful example of what Jesus taught us during his ministry here on earth. Even more significant is that what Simon was forced to do, Jesus was willing to do. Simon was forced to carry Jesus' cross. Jesus willingly carried his own cross. Okay? Christ subjected himself to public mockery, severe beatings, and one of the most horrific deaths in the world. As the Son of God, he didn't have to endure anything. He didn't have to go through what he went through today. What we will speak of tonight in our Good Friday service, Jesus did not have to go through. Even in those last excruciating hours nailed to the cross, he could have opted out. He could have called 10,000 angels to his side to carry him off that cross. But Jesus understood his suffering was not about him. It was the only way to restore you and I to our loving Heavenly Father. God doesn't force us to follow him. He doesn't put the cross on us. He asks us to pick up our cross and follow Christ willingly. Our decision to follow Christ, to pick up our cross and follow Christ, will cost us something. It will. We like to say that following Christ is a free gift, and that is true. It is free. Salvation is a free gift. You are freely saved. You accept that gift and you are saved. But following Christ will cost you everything. It will cost you to deny yourself. It will cost you everything. The only way to get the life we work so hard to protect is to give it back to God and trust him to take care of it. Do we have it in us to carry the cross with Jesus like Simon did? Can you and I be like Simon? To publicly align ourselves with him no matter what the rest of the world thinks. To get dirty for the sake of the gospel. Do you and I have it in us to follow Jesus' example and submit ourselves to God even when times get tough? That's what I want to ask you this Good Friday. Jesus paid the ultimate sacrifice. He took your place. It should have been you and I on that cross, but instead he took our place. He died for us. The sinless died for the sinner. The perfect died for the imperfect. Are you willing to pick up your cross and follow him? Are you willing to pick up your cross and follow him? Are there areas in your life that you're holding back? Are there areas in your life that you're saying, God, I can't bear that, I can't do that? That God is saying on this Good Friday, I did everything. I took the cross. I laid everything on the line for you. Are you willing to do that for me? So I want to ask you on this Good Friday, are you willing to be like Simon? Are you willing to pick up your cross and follow Christ? Are you willing to pick up your cross and follow Christ? So I encourage you on this Good Friday, examine yourself. Examine yourself. Have you surrendered everything to follow Jesus? I look forward to seeing you tonight, 6 o'clock, here in the sanctuary, as we remember the greatest sacrifice ever to occur, and that we remember when Jesus said, "It is finished," it was finished. Let's ask God today, God, what areas of my life do I need to surrender to you? Am I carrying my cross with you like you instructed me to? I'll see you tonight.